And welcome inside the clubhouse of the Colorado Rockies. Tonight, Game 2, the Rockies in Arizona. What a story told last night. Trevor Story, Cargo, Nolan Arenado. Get used to seeing that. We saw it a bunch last year, and hopefully we see it a ton in 2016. Again, welcome to Chase Field. The opening week of the Major League season continues. The Rockies trying to duplicate what they did a year ago, and they got off to the fabulous start on the road. Yesterday, victors 10-5 behind 15 hits and 4 long balls. Charlie Blackmon is ready to go as we take a look at the Southwest batting order for the Rockies this evening. And it looks awfully familiar with one exception. Charlie will lead it off. Trevor Story again naturally will be in the 2 spot. Then Cargo and Nolan 3 and 4. Gerardo Parra, he threw out 3 doubles last night in his return to the desert. Nick Hundley will bat 6th tonight. Ben Paulson will be in there for Mark Reynolds at first base, and he'll bat 7th. DJ LeMahieu, he hit the ball hard 3 times last night, a couple of hits. He'll bat 8th in front of Chad Bettis. And on the mound, the 25-year-old Texan, Shelby Miller, who's now on his 3rd major league organization. St. Louis, Atlanta last year, where he was the most hard luck pitcher in all of baseball.
Well, you think about this. In his last 24 starts, he was 1-16. You're saying 1-16, how does he still go out there every day? Well, he only had 29 runs of support from those Atlanta Braves in those 24 starts. So that tells you the hard luck.
Well, listen, they couldn't score in an empty gym, the Atlanta Braves last year.
Well, and tonight for Shelby Miller, this hasn't changed from when he was pitching for the Atlanta Braves or the St. Louis Cardinals. It'll be a fastball, a cutter, curveball, changeup. And the pitch that he really likes to use a lot, besides the fastball and the cutter, is the curveball. It's a big 12-6 over-the-top type.
You know what's kind of interesting is Chad Bettis also has a good curveball. You're going to see that some opening up counts. The get-ahead curveball tonight, probably from both pitchers.
Well, you expect those in fastball counts. So when you see a 2-1 count, 2-0 count, 3-1 count, watch if they're able to control the strike zone with off-speed pitches. And for Shelby Miller, we will see a lot of fastballs, but he will mix in the occasional sinker. That's a pitch that he learned a couple years ago with Justin Masterson back in 2014. So that is now a pitch that's part of his arsenal as well.
Let's check Arizona defensively quickly. Socrates Brito will get the start in center field. Chris Owings was out there yesterday. Tomas and Peralta join him. Jake Lamb, Nick Ahmed, Gene Segura, Paul Goldschmidt, and Wellington Castillo. Same infield and backstop for Arizona as we saw in the opener last night. Glad that you're along with us naturally. Here we go. Shelby Miller against Charlie Blackmon. Charlie was 1 for 5 last night. And the fastball rides high, ball 1. Every member of the Rockies starting lineup had a base hit, including Jorge De La Rosa. It's the first time that's ever happened for the Rockies on opening day. 1-0, and that's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian O'Nora will call balls and strikes tonight, veteran umpire. Alan Porter is at first, John Tempane is at second, and Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, is down at 3rd base. Well located, but just a smidgen inside, and it's 2-1. Good eye from Charlie Blackmon, and we're accustomed to that. Not only is he a good hitter, not only does he hit the ball over the wall, but he will draw walks, which makes him an ideal leadoff hitter.
Last night, 35 pitches that he saw over the entire course of the game. That felt like some sort of major league record. I was asking him about it and talking to Walden about it as well. They were preaching, hey, make sure you are tough out. Make sure as a group we fight, we battle, we don't strike out, but we make these pitchers earn their outs.
2-2. Fastball's overthrown, 3-2. That's why baseball can be such a gut-wrenching sport and so misleading. If you just look in the box score and you say, oh, Charlie was 1 for 5, you know, okay, nothing special. Saw 35 pitches, quality at bats, each one of those, but again, not a ton to show for it statistically.
Yeah, but the other 8 guys that are following him, they have something to show for it. Some of the numbers that were put up is because what Charlie did prior to that.
3-2 and a chopper to second. Segura with an easy play, 1 out. Let's see what kind of reaction, even though it's a road crowd, Trevor Story gets as he's announced.
Shortstop, number 27, Trevor Story.
I guess I didn't read the paper. You know, well, there's a boo. That's
boos.
what you wanted.
Boo,
You
right.
wanted a boo.
for your opposing team.
Yeah.
You respect it.
Have you ever been booed before? By the opposing team.
Oh, by the opposing
not
team?
the home team.
Yeah. No. Maybe a couple times.
Maybe a couple times.
Dougie's on his game. He just handed me a note. That pitch misses, ball one. There's only one player, because we know what's going through your mind at home. There's only one player in the history of the game to hit 3 home runs in their first 2 games. A fellow by the name of Joe Cunningham with the 54 White Sox.
I have his baseball card.
Do you?
No. Sorry, Joe Cunningham.
2-0. 89 degrees. Roof is open.
They have it closed during batting practice to help it try to cool off before they open it up. So it is just a gorgeous night here in the Valley.
2-0 count for Story.
Watch him come out of his shoes on this 2-0.
Well, Miller's proud of his fastball. He ought to be, and he throws it 2/3 of the time.
Well, and he just shook to it.
Wellington Castillo last night, especially with Randall Delgado, all of a sudden got slider happy with his fingers.
I've never seen anything like that. We saw 11 straight off-speed pitches with guys in scoring position.
2-0. He looks down at he's now looked down at that mound a couple of times. You don't see a spiked fastball that much from a guy who normally has great command.
This is just his second start at Chase Field, so let's remember that. Maybe he's not his first start out on this mound.
1 out, just underway at Chase Field. 3-0. And that's high strike, top of the zone. It was in there. See the Subaru strike zone.
I meant to say the first start this year at Chase Field.
Yes. Defensively right now, as they learn Trevor Story, playing him straight up. And this ball is in the air to right center field. It's playable for David Peralta. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Cargo. Well, Cargo, for the 3rd time in the last 4 years, hit an opening day home run. And folks, as impressive a night as Trevor Story had, the most impressive swing for me was that one, because the ball came off the bat, according to ESPN stats, at 119.3 miles an hour, which makes it the hardest hit ball in the game this year, the hardest hit home run. The next hardest, and I understand this season's only a couple of days old, Robbie Cano hit a home run this year at 112 miles an hour. So that was 7 miles an hour harder. And in fact, here's the 1-0. I was talking to Mark Grace and Dave Magadan. Magadan's the hitting coach and Gracie is the assistant hitting coach, and he said their clubhouse was still talking about the flight of that baseball last night. 2-0. Good pitch.
Just how low it started off, and then it just carried and just kept going and hit that back wall of the pool. We were joking with Cargo around the batting cage. We said, "Oh, was that ball that you hit in Milwaukee last year harder?" And he was trying to say, no, there was another one in Coors Field that he hit left center field.
Against Jonathan Neese. 2-2. Scotty Garrett is a longtime Rockies assistant trainer. There's Scotty. And he said that he turned to DJ and he said, you know what, if you were out there, because DJ's 6'4", he said, you may have been able to catch that.
One of those ones where the infielder jumps and it's over the wall.
2-2. And this ball's hit hard, but right at Paul Goldschmidt. And it's a 1-2-3 first inning for Shelby Miller. When we return to Chase Field, Chad Bettis will take the mound for Colorado. The Rockies and Arizona Diamondbacks, game 2 of the journey that is the 2016 Major League Baseball season. With Ryan Spilborghs and Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. Gene Segura is going to lead things off again for Chip Hale's club. Here's the rest of the Southwest batting order for the second-year skipper of the Diamondbacks. In the 2 spot, Socrates Brito. He's a left-handed hitter, then Paul Goldschmidt. David Peralta bat cleanup. Wellington Castillo after that. Jake Lamb hit a home run last night. Yasmani Tomas won the bat well also in game 1. Shelby Miller, pitcher, batting 8th. Nick Ahmed again batting 9th. First pitch from Chad Bettis to Gene Segura. Rubs him off the plate, ball 1. 8-6 last year, and Jeff, you mentioned it, he finished very strong.
Yeah, his last 7 ball games, he was 3-2 with a 2.97 ERA.
Top of the zone, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I think tonight, as we're paying attention to Chad Bettis, we got to watch how he's commanding that changeup. Changeup is one of his field pitches, and of course the curveball pitches he's starting to really learn to love.
He went with a slider on 1-1. That's a pitch of his 4-pitch arsenal that he uses the least amount. Bettis will work quickly, which you got to love. Well, let's take a look at the 4-pitch arsenal.
Well, over the last couple of years, he has gone from a relief pitcher to a starting pitcher. And last year, the increase in using curveball has jumped up dramatically, up to 15%. Why that's important is because it changes eye level for the batter. Not only that, it's increased the swing and miss pitches as far as the fastball, changeup, and other pitches as well.
Line shot. DJ hangs with it, 1 out. Here's the Rockies defensively. In the outfield, Gerardo Parra, a couple gold gloves. Charlie Blackmon in center. Cargo owns a couple of gold gloves. He is in right. Nolan Arenado now 3 seasons, 3 gold gloves. Trevor Story at short. DJ LeMahieu has a gold glove. He's at second. Ben Paulson has good hands. He's at first base, and Nick Hundley behind the plate. Brito takes ball 1. Socrates Brito has never played a day in AAA. He was in Mobile last year and then came up late in the season. And this is a roller to DJ, 2 outs.
Like that when you look up to the board, 7 pitches, 2 outs. That's the kind of efficiency that you're looking for from a starting pitcher.
Number 44, Paul.
Well, he's got 2 things going for him so far, Huey. As an infielder, as an outfielder, throwing strikes, pitching to contact, and Drew, you've already mentioned it, working fast.
I don't think you can underestimate that value, because it is so critical when you're out there playing behind a guy and he's working fast, getting the ball, you stay in the game.
And a quick strike on Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt was 0 for 4 in a walk last night. And the walk is important to mention because he's now reached in 36 consecutive games against the Rockies.
That's tough to do if you're playing a video game. I mean, but that tells you, a guy that's been runner-up twice in the MVP voting, All-Star, Silver Slugger, and he can steal some bases.
He's an all-around tremendous talent. Here's the 1-2. And the fastball's hit high in the air, deep center field. Blackmon hoping for a play, doesn't have one, it's gone. First of the year for Goldschmidt after hitting 33 last year. He can do that.
2-2 count. Tried to go off the plate and then just went back. You can see Nick kind of lean back towards the middle part on the Subaru strike zone. The 4th pitch of that at bat. I mean, if you just tried to set it on a tee, it wouldn't have been in a better place. Goldie took it out to dead center field.
First pitch curveball's outside and away. And this is going to drop into center field for a base hit for Peralta. Peralta had 3 hits last night.
And the last 2 hits, the home run to Paul and the base hit to David, both were up in the zone.
Wellington Castillo stepping in. 2 outs, a run in on the home run by Goldschmidt. 1-0 in the first.
It's a great stat that Doug has pulled up for us in 184.1 innings that Chad Bez has thrown. Well, we'll get back to it later. Save this one for later.
So Paul Goldschmidt goes deep to center field. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Nolan Arenado, who made that play, will lead it off in the second. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By American Family Insurance, insure carefully, dream fearlessly. And by Southwest Airlines Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Pretty night in the desert. Rockies have been here for a while. Spring training, 20 minutes from here in North Scottsdale. The 101 in Indian Bend Road. Paul Goldschmidt has hit a home run. It's 1-0. Nolan Arenado to be followed by Gerardo Parra and Nick Hundley against Shelby Miller. So they've gone like the Oregon Ducks have the Diamondbacks. They have a uniform for each of their first 7 games at home this year that will be different. Thoughts?
I don't like it.
I certainly didn't think I would see it at the big leagues where he had 7 different combinations. I mean, they have everything.
So many big swings last night, fellas, but maybe the biggest of all was Nolan when the game had tightened up, and there is momentum in baseball, and it seemed like it was in the Arizona dugout. 7-5 after a 7-1 lead for the Rockies. He hit a 3-run home run, and that killed Arizona's chances. Ahmed throws out Arenado, who was scooting up the line. 1 gone. That'll bring up Parra. Rockies fans, you can once again join into the conversation this season. Send us thoughts, photos, questions using your favorite social media platform. Just include the hashtag Toyota Talk, and we'll get to some of those thoughts throughout the evening. So Parra last night in his Rockies debut, 3 doubles. One of the doubles off the very top of the center field wall. Hey, look who's taking over Toyota Talk tonight. Take over Tuesdays. We're going to do this every Tuesday. This is from our old friend LaTroy. I'm taking over Twitter tonight. Start tweeting your questions just in case you ask. Retirement is boring. On one hop to Ahmed.
He's just going to get that out of the way. And you play as long as Hawk did in the big leagues, and then you're not in uniform. You're sitting at home.
His wife looked at him in March and said, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Why are you be somewhere?
Here? Yeah. Should be doing something.
Two gone. Nick Hundley strides to the plate. Nick 1 for 3 and a couple of walks last night, so he reached 3 times, coming off his best season average wise at 301. Did 350 last year, in fact, against Arizona pitching. .63, 225-pounder delivers inside, 2-0.
First-round pick of St. Louis in 2009.
He was
still only 25 years of age.
Yeah, he got to the big leagues quickly. He was 3 times their top prospect, listed as their top prospect. 3-0.
Traded from the Braves just 3 days before they signed Zach Greinke.
Well, and Greinke went out and kind of said that felt they gave up a lot. The Diamondbacks gave up a lot to get Shelby Miller, giving up for the first overall pick from last year.
Dansby Swanson was that first overall pick.
And also Inciarte.
Good young player.
Well, Inciarte was the guy that necessitated the release of Michael Bourne down in Atlanta.
This ball chopped to third, and that topspin hop goes under the glove of Jake Lamb. You had to figure that was going to be a very difficult play. It'll go as a hit, I'm sure. First base runner for the Rockies, 2 outs in the second. That'll bring up Ben Paulson. From Hawk. Listen to Drew, reminds me how he used to ease his way next to me and say, "How you doing, Hawk?" Hawk, how you doing? Other than being bored. Good man. 2 decades.
Wow.
2 decades in this great game. And everybody who played with him, and as you know, Huey, just raves about what a great teammate he was.
Yeah, I never played with him, just played against him. In fact, I played against him his rookie year when he was with the Twins.
Oh, and you guys are the same age.
He just lasted longer than I did.
Paulson hits it hard, and a good pickup by Jake Lamb. Middle of 2, 1-0 on the Goldschmidt home run. Go to the bottom of the second inning. Jake Lamb's going to lead it off against Chad Bettis in the second inning. Rockies winners 10-5 yesterday over Arizona. Last time they scored 10 runs in a road game, opening day a year ago at Miller Park when they blanked the Brewers 10-0. Jake Lamb in a 7-1 game last night turned on a Jorge De La Rosa offering and hit a 2-run home run to inject some life into Arizona's lineup. They would close to 7-5 as we were discussing last inning before the 3-run home run by Nolan. Foul tip, 0-1.
Well, Jake Lamb was just improving upon his spring training that he had. 404 batting average during Cactus League. That tied him for 8th in Major League Baseball. I would have to assume Nolan was number 1.
Nolan was the first Rocky ever to lead all of spring training in hitting. He led the Cactus League, he led the Grapefruit League, he led
Mars.
Yeah, he led.
What do you
led
get
every
for that?
league.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You get a mention early in the season on the local broadcast. 2-1 on Lamb. Shift is on, and a sinking fastball at 92. 2-2.
That's a kind of a pitch that Chad likes to throw. 92 sink, but he can also reach back and go 95, 96 with the four-seamer.
Breaking ball in the dirt, 3-2. You know what's amazing to me? Time after time, you'll talk about a guy coming up who's 95, 96, 97, and when they settle in and become a bona fide starter, great curveball in the big leagues, what you find typically is that they work 91, 92. Very few guys, not that they can't go get it, but maintain that velocity. It's like they're throwers who become pitchers.
And that's what they have to do, because at the big leagues, if you're a thrower, the hitters will just wait you out.
Absolutely.
They'll just say, well, if you're not going to throw me a strike, or if you fall behind 3-1, you got to come right down the middle, I'm going to make you pay.
2 for 4 last night. A couple of ribbies for Yusmani Tomas. He made it 7-5 with a 2-out bases loaded single. And Bettis hits the zone there. Strike 1. The game last night was 4 hours and 11 minutes, which is the longest 9-inning game in the history of Chase Field. 4 of the 5 longest games ever played at Chase Field have involved the Arizona Diamondbacks, naturally, and the Colorado Rockies.
I enjoyed every minute of that 4 hours and 11-minute game.
Listen, if you get to watch your team shake hands at the end of the night, however long it takes, right?
Need to see some of the storylines.
Pun. $1.
That's $1. Bouncer to DJ. Two outs, and the pitcher, Shelby Miller, will hit.
So I have something interesting. Obviously, the last 2 games, they have used a pitcher hitting in the 8th hole. And by conventional wisdom, we always think of pitchers hitting 9th. So did a little research, was looking into it. Hitting the pitcher 9th, do you think it adds more runs per game for the team doing it, or makes less? Huey, what do you think?
Barely less.
Barely more by having him hit 8th, and it's minuscule amount. But what creates the issue is for the manager is realizing in the 5th, 6th, 7th inning,
right at Cargo,
that you're going to have to use a bench player potentially. So it forces the hand of the manager to make a decision earlier in the game.
in the game right now as we go to the top of the third. DJ LeMahieu will lead it off, and then Chad Bettis in the top of the order. Fans of the Rockies score 7 or more runs, as they did yesterday. Hope you took advantage. You're going to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Le Mas at Taco Bell. Shelby Miller completing his warm-up pitches. We asked LaTroy Hawkins, who's running Twitter tonight for us. We appreciate it, Hawk. What he's doing. He said, "I'm good, guys, just bored." Or shall I say, I was bored, enjoying this Tuesday Toyota Talk takeover. All right, Hawk, we have another question for you. Have you picked up a baseball since making your last appearance with Toronto last fall?
I'm going to guess yes. I think he was he not, didn't he go to spring training with the Minnesota Twins for a little bit?
Maybe as
I want to say he was a guest instructor for.
So he picked one up.
He had to pick one. Did he throw one, or did he get on the mound?
You know what? Did he throw batting
practice?
practice?
There's a difference.
Well, he always threw batting practice.
Oh, that was Spilly, Hawk.
That was Spilly, Hawk, not us.
We'll see what he dials up on that.
Yeah, that's going to get
96 in my ear.
Right. Yeah. Because last time I checked, he could still twirl 96.
No doubt.
0-1 on DJ. And this is looped into right, and LeMahieu has yet another base hit. 501 knocks now in his big league career.
Fight a pitch off, and that's what he did on the Shelby Miller sinker underneath the hands, hit it off the label, but he pulled his hands in enough on the Subaru strike zone. You'd see it was on the inside part, maybe just half of the black, and he still bloops it into right. But you have to keep your barrel in the zone a long time to be able to bloop one there.
Bettis bunts it pretty hard. Goldschmidt to second, got the force.
The hop was fine, just how hard it was hit allowed Goldschmidt, and he knew as he was charging that ball what he was going to do. He didn't need the help from Castillo. He had that thought in his mind, if I catch it, I'm still going to look to second base, and he was getting rid of it in a hurry.
Well, from our angle up here, it looked like the ball hit home plate, which created that big, gigantic hop, which allowed Goldschmidt to get to the baseball. I mean, you're thinking, again, baseball is a game of inches. A couple more inches, that's right on the dirt. That's a perfectly executed bunt.
Strike on Blackman. Charlie bounced to second, his first at bat. Blackman the last 2 years has played 311 of 324 possible games, or 96%. Tell you how unusual that is after this pitch. That's a strike, 0-2. 1,333 players played at least one game in the big leagues last year. Only 43 played 150 plus, as Charlie did. That's 3.2%. Where are you, Cal Ripken, your old teammate, Jeff?
Well, even Hunter Pence, who had all those games that he played until he had the broken wrist, and he was considered an Iron Man when he was playing 162.
Well, the other guy, Prince Fielder, until he hurt his neck. Prince, was out there every day. That is a record. We always discuss this, records that won't be broken. Nobody's going to win 511 games.
Johnny Vandermeer, no one's going to throw 3 straight no-hitters.
Well, it was 2 straight. It was 2
yeah,
straight.
but you need to throw 3 to break the record.
Oh, I see what you're saying. To me, I understand that's more plausible. Maybe a guy like Clayton Kershaw, but nobody's going to wander out on the field and start
You're right.
the number of games that Cal did. The one I always went to first, though, was Cy Young and 511 wins. I think the new demarcation that puts you in the Hall of Fame conversation is 200 wins, and it may be even less than that going forward. You just don't get as many decisions. It becomes a bullpen game, the final 3.
CC Sabathia and Burley, I mean, those guys are as close as anybody to get into that mark.
1-2. 2-2.
It was off the plate. You can see on the Subaru strike zone.
Bettis at first with 1 out. Story waiting in the on deck circle for his turn. 3-2.
So that's the second straight at bat with a 3-2 count. So Charlie already tonight has seen, let's see, 14 pitches. He's going to see 14 pitches already.
Because he's seen so many pitches, I start Chad Bettis at first.
Sure.
Go ahead and take off. You know, Charlie will either put it in play or walk.
Not going, and is fouled off. You know, the one thing about that in this day and age of so many injuries, I'd just be leery to have my pitcher do anything that is even slightly out of the ordinary.
You're right.
Just came from spring training, though. They've been running.
Running's out of the ordinary for pitchers?
No, it's not out of the ordinary, but
I get what you're saying.
Yes.
You know, he's a competitor, so all of a sudden he fires off a little bit differently than he had. Charlie pulls it. And a 3-6-3 double play ends the inning despite the leadoff base hit by DJ LeMahieu. Middle of 3, 1-0 Arizona. All of our vast broadband viewers from Rapid City, South Dakota, thank you for watching the Rockies on Root Sports. Be sure to tell us where you're watching from on Twitter at @RootSports_RM. Chase Field, downtown Phoenix, Arizona. 1-0 Arizona. Bottom of the third. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, who bats in the 9 spot in Chip Hale's lineup, to be followed by Gene Segura and Socrates Brito. So Zach Greinke made his Arizona debut after signing the $200+ million contract in the offseason. He lasted just 4 innings. It's been about 4 years since he gave up the number of runs in a game that he did yesterday. 7 runs. 9 hits. And I thought he made some interesting points after the game. Usually when a pitcher gets roughed up like that, especially one the caliber of Greinke, he's coming off one of the great seasons in the history of the game on the mound. You think, well, hey, I made a mistake. I left this pitch in the middle of the plate. It wasn't that sort of conversation with the media afterward. He tipped his cap to Trevor Story. Said, "I don't think I gave up a hard hit ball on the first fastball that he located that ended up in the right field stands." And he said the slider I was really thought was a good pitch that he hit out.
And that's what happens sometimes. You have a hitter that will hit a good pitch for a home run, and and it's not a mistake pitch, but Trevor did what he had to do with that fastball. The second time it was a slider.
And we visited with Cargo before the ball game, and he asked me what did his stuff look like. He said it looked like Zach Greinke. He said we just had great at bats, and we were able to put some balls in and play hard.
Well, two of the stats that I saw that were extremely telling about the Rockies' day yesterday, and again, going back to Zach Greinke, didn't have his best stuff. He was Zach Greinke, but not with his best stuff. Location was missing. Yesterday was the first time that a changeup got hit out for a home run in 2 years. He didn't give up a home run on a changeup last year. He only gave up one home run on his slider last year. Gave up one yesterday. So hadn't given up a home run on a changeup and only one the year before with a slider. Both of those things happened in the same game.
You know, if you're Arizona and a fan of the Diamondbacks, you can't overreact. I mean, this guy's resume is long and distinguished. He can have a hiccup every once in a while, and hopefully he has a few more when he faces the Rockies. Good breaking ball to strike out Ahmed. Second punch out for Chad Bettis.
His curveball percentage went up from 3 to 15% from the year before, and that's why. You just throw it over the top, really rotate, get that spin rate that we hear about in baseball. That was some severe spin rate.
Segura lined to second, and he takes a strike. Chad, a product of Texas Tech. He's from Lubbock, went to Monterey High School in Lubbock, out there in West Texas. The Hawks looking on, I assume, from his home north of Dallas. Originally from Gary, Indiana, now makes his home in Texas. This thing is long gone to left. He got a breaking ball that hung, and Gene Segura makes it 2-0 Arizona.
.71 miles an hour on this curveball. The one to Nick Ahmed was down. This one's not. The two mistakes that Chad's had tonight on the Subaru strike zone have both been center cut. The hanger there, and then the fastball that was up to Paul Goldschmidt.
One out, a run in. Socrates Brito bounced to second. Here's the 1-0, and he hits this one up the middle for a base hit. So now Bettis will have to deal with Brito's speed at first. Chad's usually pretty quick to the plate, tough guy to run on.
Well, that was a stat that I wanted to try to get earlier. 184.1 career innings pitched. That was at the start of the game. Already thrown 3 innings today. There's only been 7 stolen base attempts.
That tells you that, you know, he's probably one of those guys that's below 1-2 to the plate frequently.
Well, and 3 of the 7 attempts were caught stealing. He has very quick feet, very quick move to first.
Everybody boos, but I really don't think a 67-mile-an-hour breaking ball that slipped out of your hand was a purpose pitch. Goldschmidt homered to dead center on a high fastball in the first inning.
I think one of the coolest stats about Goldschmidt is when you start looking at these chase percentages. Guys that swing at baseballs out of the zone. Nolan Arenado and Gerardo Parra rank near the top last year in baseball as far as swinging at pitches outside the zone. Goldschmidt, polar opposite, swung at 23% of the pitches outside of the zone. 7th in National League.
For a big guy to have a small strike zone.
Two and out. 3-0.
And Matt Williams at third base gave the sign again. Bumped the fist together. He has a green light.
And a 4-pitch walk. So traffic with one out, and David Peralta coming up, who singled in his first at bat. Billy, easy on the sarcastic pitcher comments. Got a heater for you in May.
And what he's referencing is there is a Hall of Fame game in Cooperstown that LaTroy and I are going to be participating in, and I should have thought about that before I mentioned.
Oh, you might wear one.
There's a good chance I wear one. You know what? That's fine. I mean, if you're going to hit me, LaTroy, square me up, because nothing would feel. You know what? Nothing will feel better than a nice bruise. It makes me feel alive. He's like, all right, you said it on air. You're going to get one.
I don't think this is hit hard enough to get two. A little glove flip from LeMahieu for one. And with 2 outs, Castillo will come up. First and third, with Brito at third and Peralta, who can run at first.
Runners in scoring position with 2 outs last year against Chad Bettis, a 179 batting average.
That was a home run cut.
Yeah, it was.
Well, and last year, Wellington led all National League catchers with 18 home runs. Had 19 total. Hit one when he was with Seattle at that brief time.
The location on the Subaru strike zone was not a good location. Fastball center cut again.
Took something off that. That had a lot of movement to it. 0-2.
Now, what do you have the confidence to throw? You throw a curveball, get on top, get it out in front where you get that downward action. If you want to go back in fastball, you can do that.
Beautiful pitch, just a tad bit inside.
That was a hard slider at 86 miles an hour. Tried to take the slider away. Castillo.
And come back in. Strike 3.
Pitch. Oh, Brian,
Really?
ring him up. Subaru
Close.
strike zone's close. Slider in, and then followed up with the fastball in.
I don't know how you take that.
Well, you take it because you can't hit it. That's how you do. It's
a great pitch. What we call a hip shot. So if you're right on right, you call a hip shot cutter or front door cutter.
Josh Fogg got a great one.
Great one.
In the air to Cargo and right. He's got room. He makes the catch. In the inning, a home run by Gene Segura. And then a couple men left after that. It's 2-0 Arizona as we go to the 4th. generally, unless you're probably committing a felony of some sort. Diamondbacks leading 2-0. The Coors Light Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean and Crisp Coors Light. Trevor Story, a long list of accomplishments last night. First player in history to hit 2 home runs in his big league debut, which also came on opening day. 5th player since 1900 to homer twice in his big league debut. And only the 2nd Rocky to have a home run as his first hit. Jake Gaynor back in '93 enjoyed that distinction. 6th Rocky to homer in his first big league game. Hit a fly ball to right. His first time up tonight against Shelby Miller.
I was curious before the game what the guys did that have hit 2 home runs in their first opening game or first major league debut, and then what they did the next day.
This ball is hit high in the air, deep left field. Did anybody do that? Another bomb. Trevor Story makes it 2-1. He's pretty good.
Then they should keep him.
Mom and Dad may not be allowed to go back to Irving.
No, just go ahead and back up the stuff, come to Colorado if he's going to hit home runs like this. And these are no doubters. It's not like your wall scrapers going back just into that front row. When he hits, he knows they're gone.
Yeah, and you want to know, is this kid old school? He puts his head down, he's sprinting around the bases.
Reminds you of Kadire when he would do that. He'd hit a home run, put his head down, and just goes about his business. There's no showboating. There's nothing like that. But my, oh my, you make a mistake,
yeah, Huey, I love what you said. These aren't wall scrapers. These are bombs.
Bombs.
These are big boy bombs.
Yeah, those are major league home runs.
Inside ball 1 on Cargo. Wow. He'll get you out of your chair. So what were you talking about, Spilly? What guys did in game 2?
Yeah, well, nobody has hit a home run in the 2nd game.
That's a base hit up the middle for Cargo. Cargo's got 3 hits in a game and a third. He's got the bomb to right center. He had the ball that was smoked down the left field line, and he's got a base hit up the middle. You know you're locked in and you're staying back when you can spray the ball around, even for a guy that hit 40 jacks like Cargo.
I think last night the base hit to left field, down the left field line was whacked. It was hit hard. We talked about the home run. Arizona Diamondbacks had still been talking about it, but when you're able to use the whole field, even with the shift, and put it right past a shortstop that's standing a foot away from it, you're hitting the ball hard.
Nolan drives it, stay fair. Foul ball.
Think these guys are getting a better look at the 2nd time around?
Yep.
I think so.
LaDroy in his adopted home state of Texas. And he's denning baseballs right now. He did it all March. This kicks away. Cargo stumbled a little bit. He'll move up on the dirt ball. So now the Rockies have the tying run at 2nd. Nobody out, and the right guy at the plate. So the only other player in the history of this grand game to have 3 home runs in their first 2 games, the aforementioned Joe Cunningham with the 54 White Sox. And Dougie did a little more research. Joe's with us. He's 89, living in New Jersey. Hope he's looking in tonight.
Well, if he's looking in, he's seeing the.
Yeah, his name's getting talked about.
That's
today.
right.
This is great.
It's the way you want to be remembered.
He's going to be trending on Twitter.
Joe's big on Twitter, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's got 100 followers.
2 balls and a strike. First time the Rockies faced Shelby Miller was May of 2013. I'll never forget it. E.Y. Jr. led the game off with a base hit. Shelby Miller retired the next 27. The imperfect perfect game. Struck out 13 that day. Here's the 2-1. On the ground to third. That's a nice pickup by Lamb. That was actually a Nolan-esque, not an easy play. That topspin second hop, it was a tweener.
But you better stay aggressive with it. Come get it. If you sit back, it'll eat you up. It'll carve you up. Topspin over your glove, or you'll boot it. But Lamb went and got the baseball and made the throw across.
Gerardo Parra grounded to short his first time. Parra trying to drive in his buddy Carlos Gonzalez. These two guys are inseparable.
They are inseparable. We've been looking at some of the budding friendships that are you can see them. I mean, it was like A.J. Pollock and Goldschmidt, Gerardo Parra and Cargo, DJ LeMahieu and Trevor Story.
Parra's got a quick bat. Last year between Milwaukee and Baltimore, he had 14 home runs. That's most of his career. His best season, average-wise, 292 with the Diamondbacks in 2011. 8 home runs, 46 RBIs. He was 15 of 16 swiping bags. In fact, last night he got a bag, stole third.
Pretty simple approach. Just loads up a little early onto that back leg and then toe taps.
Well, you get a runner to second with nobody out. There's now 1 out. You want to cash it in.
Good eye.
Well, that's something that has to improve from a year ago also. Their on-base percentage, the Rockies on the road last year, was .277. That was last in the National League. You can't just sit back and play Earl Weaver baseball. You're going to have to grind out some wins and win more 3-2 ball games than they've done in the past. And one way to do that is, you know what, if they give you a walk, take a walk.
It goes back to the theme that we heard a lot during spring training. Win the inning. Win the inning. And Blake Doyle, they preached this the whole time. And it was these type of innings where you needed to do it out on the road. You know, sometimes you can get at home, you can wait for that 3-run home run.
Sure.
But not out, especially in the National League West.
2-2. And this is tapped slowly to second. Glove flip's not going to get him. There's Parra's speed paying off. And Segura did all he could to flip the baseball in time to Goldschmidt. An infield single for Gerardo.
And he did. He got around it, knew that he was only going to be able to flip it with his glove. Quickest way to get it over there.
And he's on the bag. They're having a meeting at the mound trying to kill time so Chip Hale and his video crew can take a look at it. But
I mean, to me, if I look at that almost like the one that we had last night.
Yep.
They're not going to challenge it, but Mike Butcher's going to come out to the mound.
Well, he's got 30 seconds.
Mike sprinted out. He's going to have a long time to talk now. That was the fastest in the history of the game, because we have these stats, that a pitching coach has ever made it to the mound.
He got out there.
What was his launch angle? Yeah, what was his launch angle from the dugout steps?
27% launch angle.
That's a line drive.
Well, you know, he's not as svelte as he used to be.
Yeah, while we have a moment, we want to remind you that the Warning Track Party Room specials are happening now. Tickets up to 45% off for select dates in April. Call 303 Rockies for more information.
Well, going back to what you guys were talking about, on-base percentage, working walks, you're still not going to see Carlos Gonzalez and Nolan Arenado and Gerardo Parra, guys that typically don't take a ton of walks, still all of a sudden start turning into walk machines. But when you see them grind at bats like that, put the ball in play, make them work, Shelby Miller right now is at 53 pitches. You can live with that.
Now they forced the Diamondbacks bullpen to take 5 innings of work last night. Miller throws a two-seamer more recently than he ever did in his first couple of years, and he got more ground balls last year because of that. He's looking for one here with Hundley at the plate. Nick drives it high and deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. 3-run jack. Nick Hundley. And the Rockies take a 4-2 lead. That was loud and proud.
Nolan almost hit a home run to left field, but he got the barrel out in front just a hair too much. But not Nick. He was able to pull the hands in, get the barrel right where he needed to make it on contact. They attempted to come inside. The hips lead the swing. And now the Rockies lead the ball game 4-2.
Ben Paulson at the plate. And he takes a strike. 1 out. 2 home runs, 4 hits in the inning. And the Rockies have a 4th spot on Shelby Miller here in the 4th. This ball to left field, long run for Tomas. He's not going to be able to make the catch. He kicks around in the padding there, and it's a double for Ben Paulson. And that's where, and I'm not trying to pick on Yasmani Tomas, but that's where they lack defensively on that corner. He was in right field last year. They're trying to hide him in left field, and that's a play that an average left fielder is going to make.
They would, and it doesn't matter whether he's right-handed or left-handed. He would have been camped underneath that ball, or at least been able to catch it right by his chest. You know, Tomas, when he first came over, they tried him at third base, and that wasn't very good.
No.
Can't put him at first because you got Goldschmidt.
You can't put him at first, and that's probably the position he should be at. And it's why when you look at this Diamondbacks team, again, I'm going to point it out as always. Gene Segura, normally a shortstop, playing second base. Yesterday you had Chris Owings, who's a shortstop, playing center field. Socrates Brito is in center now because of A.J. Pollock being injured.
And this was a good, really good defensive team last year. If you buy into the advanced metrics defensively, and honestly, I don't buy into all of them, but DRS, defensive runs saved, by that metric, they were plus 63 last year. It was one of the better marks in the game.
And they had some Gold Glove guys out there. Guys that not only can make the routine play, but also make the extraordinary play, the rangy ones.
DJ takes low. 1 ball, 1 strike. So this is now reminiscent of the 3rd inning that Greinke suffered through last night. Number of pitches for Miller.
Oh, it's
a 4 spot, and the Rockies are threatening for more with 1 out, and Paulson at second base.
Second time through the order. That's what happened last night. Trevor with the home run. Second time tonight. Trevor with the home run.
DJ drives this ball to deep left center. This is going to get on out. 2-run home run, DJ LeMahieu. Make it 6-2. How much fun is it to be in that dugout right now?
Shelby Miller last year working on that sinker, was able to induce a lot more ground balls. Guess what? The Rockies are not a ground ball hitting team. Last year, 45% of the time they're hitting ground balls. That was 21st in baseball. This pitch is up in the zone, inside out, and crushed. DJ knew it right off the bat.
He back-legged that
Love
thing.
it.
DJ kind of picking up where he left off last year when he hit over 300. Here's Bettis. If he goes deep, you really have a story. Tell you something else I like, and you were a great teammate. We're talking to Hawk tonight. He was a great teammate. The first guy, top step of the dugout, it's always a challenge because Brandon Barnes is always that guy. You know who it is? It's one of the newest Rockies, Gerardo Parra. This ball may sneak through. Good play by Segura. He takes a hit from Bettis. 2 outs. Have you noticed that? Parra's the first guy out to greet the guys who've been hitting home runs.
Last night, part of the story was when Trevor Story got thrown into the shower and doused. And Trevor was talking about it and said that GP, Gerardo Parra, made him try to speak and talk about the day. And as soon as he tried to say something, shower got turned on. He has took ownership of the clubhouse along with Carlos Gonzalez and Nolan and the rest of the group. It's always a group committee when you're looking at leaders. But when you have a free agent sign that comes in and has that kind of clout within the clubhouse, it's a nice sign.
Here's Blackman, 9th man to hit here in this 4th inning.
Doesn't just fall to one guy. That's
Right.
hard when you're trying to manage 25 guys or 24 other guys.
Mm-hmm.
How about the Rockies? 7 home runs in a game. You can't even call it a game and a half. It's the most ever for Colorado in their first 2 games of the season. The previous best, 2001, 2013, they hit 5. I don't think they're done yet.
No, not at all.
Think Charlie's got one in him?
Hawk. DJ doesn't look a day over 13. That might be the most we've seen DJ smile for a while. He's
Grinning.
Yeah, he is, and rightfully so.
2-2. Well, DJ is 4 for 5, and the one time they got him out in this series, remember he got double switched out of the ball game yesterday. He had a rocket that went off of Greinke to Segura, or it may have been off of Barrett.
Off his backside. And again, here we go. We're looking at Charlie Blackmon right now. Another 2-2 count. Probably will push it to 3-2. He's well over 20 pitches tonight.
Speaking of Barrett, he's up in the Diamondbacks bullpen. And the strikeout will end the inning. Looked familiar to last night. 6 runs in the 4th last night against Zach Greinke. 6 runs tonight in the 4th inning for the Rockies against Shelby Miller. Actually, last night was the 3rd inning against Greinke. You get the point. 6-2 Colorado. For 6 in the top of the 4th. They hit 3 home runs. Oh yeah, Trevor Story hit another one to get him going. Nick Hundley a 3-run shot. DJ LeMahieu a 2-run shot. All no doubters. Strike 1 on Jake Lamb. Chad Bettis ready again, and the changeup is low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Chad has to be saying, all right, thank you. Down 2-0 before the last half of that inning, up now 6-2.
1 out on the big hopper to the first baseman, Ben Paulson. That'll bring up Yasmani Tomas. We discussed it, fellas, last night, and I think it bears repeating. The Rockies opening here, not getting on a plane, in an environment they've been playing in for more than 6 weeks, it was a benefit to them. And I think they would take it every year, opening on the road. 5 straight years they've opened on the road. Tomas hits it well to left, and it's over the head of Parra.
This is one of those line drives that just freezes you. You think it's going to have the hump back where it's going to have the top spin. You don't have to go back on it. It freezes you momentarily.
You know what? There's a trick that outfielders can do is you use the brim of your cap. So looking at the baseball from where you're standing with the hat, anything below the hat is usually in front of you. Anything where your head has to tilt backwards, it's going to be over your head. Ball like that, like you just mentioned, is probably even with the brim of your cap and will sail right over your head.
What do I do?
Exactly. Well, here's the conversation again that we're going to have with batting the pitcher in the 8th spot. Because look at the score. It's 6-2 right now. You're looking at Shelby Miller. How many pitches is he at? He's about 68 pitches, I think I have him at. Again, if there was a situation where maybe you use a pinch hitter at this juncture, you're using it because of the spot of the lineup that he's at.
The other thing, too, for Arizona is they had to use 4 pitchers last night. They don't have an off day on Thursday. They roll right through the weekend with the 4-game set with the Cubs. So to go to your bullpen this early is pretty tough for Chip.
1-1 on Miller, 1-2. And the Diamondbacks made a move earlier today after 1 game, and that is strike 3. The Diamondbacks sent out Silvino Bracha, who pitched in yesterday's ball game. He pitched the inning in the 3rd, gave up a run on a couple of hits, and they brought up a former #1 pick and added Kyle Drabek to their bullpen.
He was the #1 pick in the Phillies
way back. It's been a while.
Yeah, and then went to Toronto for a short time. Yes, the son of Doug Drabek.
Doug Drabek's the AA pitching coach for Arizona. The Rockies' upcoming home schedule brought to you by Remax. Rockies open up the home portion of the schedule at Coors Field 1 o'clock on Friday. We'll be on the air, and then the ball game an hour later. Saturday we're on the air at 5:30. Sunday at 1:30 in the afternoon. Of course, all those ball games right here on Root Sports. And the Giants come a-calling.
Well, and speaking of Kyle Drabek, Drabek was Paul Goldschmidt's groomsman in his wedding.
The only one, or do you have other guys?
Well, I think Kyle was probably the only one. I said he was one of the only ones.
What about Pollock?
I don't know.
We have incomplete information on his wedding.
I don't have all the groomsmen. I don't have the photo.
You know,
you have tuck sizes?
You would not make it at TMZ.
I'm sure I would. Hey, I'm giving you a little tidbit.
Didn't they go to the same high school?
They did.
Yeah, with an emphasis on a little.
High school teammates.
2 strikes on Nick Ahmed. So on my wedding almost 22 years ago, 2 of my groomsmen had jackets, and you know a couple of my boys, they had 56-inch jackets, and my mother-in-law's first time she's ever been angry at me. She thought they were playing a game, and it's because local, tuxedo place. She thought get the right sizes. Now I said no, legitimately they wear 56-inch jackets. 2 strikes on Ahmed.
He's going to get that pitch tonight. Chad is going to freeze a hitter, a right-handed hitter with that inside cut shot.
So last time he had this same count, he went back inside with a four-seam fastball. Does he do that again?
Sure.
Or does he go slider away? Struck him out with a big overhand curveball. All these things are going through a hitter's mind.
He went to the curveball. Boy, he went Livan Hernandez there, dropped it in at 67.
At what point does it no longer become a curveball and it's an ephus pitch? At what speed is that?
Below 60.
Below 60? Okay.
2-2 on Ahmed, 2 outs. Tomas is at second base. He doubled. Rockies up 6-2. Bottom of 4. Three and 2 on Ahmed. On the ground, foul. It's been very interesting to watch the growth of Chad Bettis on the mound and just how he carries himself with the success. You see the confidence, and this is truly a tough Texas kid.
I think back to last spring training when he comes to camp, knowing that he doesn't have a shot to make it, that he needs to work on some stuff even before he gets out on the hill during spring training. That shows you how tough he is.
Yeah, and converting back to being a starting pitcher. And he misses to Ahmed. So Ahmed will go to first. That's the second walk allowed by Chad. And it'll bring up Segura, who homered last inning.
Those are the walks. It's just, I mean, it gets you talking to yourself because you had him 0-2. You had him set up. And then he nibbled, he fouled off a couple pitches. And then he works a walk.
Sinks a fastball, and it's low, ball 1 on Segura. Chad's going to have to take a deep breath. He may get a visit here from Steve Foster.
I can see him grabbing his paperwork and putting his stuff down and running out right now. He's got 30 seconds.
Tell how much he missed his spot just from Nick's setup. Catches Segura on the elbow. Fans' big weekend this coming series against San Diego, and the first 10,000 fans through the gates on Saturday, April 9th, will receive a Colorado Rockies 3/4 sleeve t-shirt. So the first 10,000 fans.
The rookie Brito at the plate. Ground ball to second and a base hit to center. All of a sudden the bases are loaded. At stake to a 4-run lead. Don't let him back in it. And you have Goldschmidt on deck. 2 gone. Outside, ball 1.
This looks like right now that front shoulder's flying open for Chad, kind of falling off a little hard towards first base instead of directionally to home.
That may have been a gift. That was
Yes,
off
it
the
was.
plate.
In the Subaru strike zone.
Now this is where you earn your money.
You have to. This is where you slow it down if you're a pitcher. Same as a hitter, you got to find a way to calm your breathing. Think about what you want to do, have intent.
And he's just gotten help with that last call. So instead of being at 2-0, you're 1-1.
And he got a pop up on a hanger. He was fortunate. Nolan backs up, makes the catch. No harm done. A double, a walk, a hit batter. And Bettis leaves the bases loaded. 6-2 Colorado as we go to the 5th. Baseball en Route Sports is brought to you by Bank of the West. For a personal approach to banking, go west, Bank of the West. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box, taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. 6-run 4th inning, and the Rockies are up 6-2. They've hit 3 more home runs tonight, all came last inning. And the guy who got it going, Trevor Story, will lead it off in the 5th. He hit a long home run to left center. His 3rd home run in a game and a half. Another day, another mention in the record books.
I thought you were going to say another story. This is about him expecting to see the Diamondbacks try to move Story's feet. I'm expecting to see some fastballs inside. See if they can get him a little bit uncomfortable at the plate.
Well, he wasn't uncomfortable in the 4th inning. Took it way deep to left field, left center.
He's going to develop a quick reputation that if you spin it, he can hit it far. Took a slider out against Greinke last night in a similar spot. And this ball is hit hard, but caught by Segura. 2 of the times they've gotten him out in this series have been balls that have been barreled at a middle infielder.
The first things teams do when you come to the big leagues, can he hit the fastball? Okay, you can hit the fastball. Then they start throwing the breaking pitches. Can he hit that? That's when you start going, uh-oh, okay, now we got to try to find someplace else to go with some of these pitches.
Cargo step up, sharp ground ball to first, and a sharp single up the middle. And he would come around on the 3-run home run by Nick Hundley last inning. So Story's got 3 home runs in the middle of game 2. The team record for the Rockies for home runs by a rookie in the month of April is 4. It's held by Brad Hopp and Clint Barmes, both in 2005. Yeah, the story's not over yet.
Dollar.
Hawk, you have to contribute $1.
It'll go to charity. Or the TV.
We haven't yet decided, right? Here's the 2-0. And Castillo
might want to try a different glove, the one
Yeah.
that doesn't have the ejector model.
And, you know, pitching coaches, pitchers, managers, they hate that. You know, it's just sloppy.
Yeah.
They don't like it.
I know nobody's on base. There's no harm done, but it's sloppy. Three and one. That's why even balls in the dirt with nobody on, you want your catcher to block them. Off the plate, Cargo with 1 out will go down to first, and that'll bring up Nolan.
And there's that walk. There's that walk and putting yourself in position for Nolan to come up. Not going outside the zone. They're in the shift. You could probably make a pass at that pitch and try to shoot it over to the left side of the field to try to get a base hit, but knowing that that's probably not a pitch he can handle, I'll take my walk. Guess who's coming up right now?
You know who was the best at that? Old teammate of yours, Jason Giambi. Even late in the game, pass the baton. Castillo saying, listen, that's the 3rd time I've had to come out of my stance to catch the ball or attempt to catch it.
Some stirring now down in the bullpen for Arizona. Guys were moving around. Went over to grab some gloves. I think they're just waiting for that phone to ring.
Nolan got under this one. High fly ball left field. Tomas. 2 outs.
Nolan has just missed several pitches the last 2 days. He's just missing them.
Gerardo Parra. Infield hit in the 4th, which was big. Put runners at 1st and 3rd, and it set the stage for Nick Hundley's bullet home run to left. '28-year-old Gerardo Parra.
A lot of the Rockies players are wearing shirts that say Parra for president. So he has put his name in the hat. I don't know if he's an independent. I don't know what political affiliation he has yet. But he's putting it out there. He's running for something, for president.
I'm not sure president of what.
Exactly.
You can get your Parra for president shirt. Keith Duggar was sporting it this afternoon. Parra for president. Let's go, Gerardo. Gotta love it.
That didn't take long to have shirts made up.
Parra hits this ball to deep center field. Going back is Brito, and on the edge of the track he makes the catch. Gonzalez left aboard. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. The Rockies up by 4. They've launched 3 home runs tonight. Trevor Story has another one, his third. Nick Hundley has his first of the year, 3-run shot. DJ LeMahieu, a 2-run shot. Upstairs with my partners, Jeff Houston and Ryan Spilborgs. I'm Drew Goodman. And
That's
you
nice.
put the medium on, didn't you?
I did. It's a little tight.
It's a little tight, but you know
okay.
what? On you looks really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And
Did you get this for yourself?
Yeah, for my son.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Tatum.
He stretched it
I
out.
just stretched it out.
That's a sweet shirt.
It is. Thanks for getting this for us.
Got it, bud.
Exactly. Changeup is inside on Paul Goldschmidt. 3, 4, and 5 in Arizona's order. Peralta and Castillo to follow. Home run in the first inning off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt. Got the Diamondbacks in front. Goldschmidt walked in the third. That's not uncommon. He walked 17% of the time last year, which was third best in baseball to Joey Votto and Bryce Harper. Goldschmidt is now just 4 away from the newest Rocky, Mark Reynolds, in Arizona annals. Steve Finley briefly a Rocky. One ball, 2 strikes. Cutters away. 2-2.
We know how superstitious Goldschmidt is, and every single day he recites lines from Billy Madison.
Good curveball. Really pulled the string on that. 66 miles an hour, and he strikes out Goldschmidt.
4th strikeout tonight for Chad Bettis. This is the one that just has Paul out front.
Just tap it in.
Rockies shift 3 to the right side for David Peralta. A single, and he reached on a fielder's choice. If you meet a baseball player and he's not superstitious, something's wrong.
It's a routine, but for certain guys, we say it's superstitious, or it's a they have one.
If you didn't have one when you started the game, you had one by the time you finished.
Yep. Peralta 5 for 7 so far in his career against Chad Bettis.
That is looped to shallow left. Parra lays out, and that was in foul ground. So great effort by Gerardo. Hopefully he's okay.
He just knocked the wind out of him momentarily. When you lay out, Billy, you know you don't have a chance to really brace yourself and watch the wrist get tucked underneath. And this is the scary ones where that wrist, you know, is really hitting the ground hard and then all the weight going down on it. Boy, that was real close to being on the line in a fair ball, but it was just outside the line.
Oh, and just to put it back in the perspective of Yasmani Tomas.
Step and throw. Nice.
2 outs. I do miss talking Texas Tech football with Bettis. We're both huge Patrick Mahomes fans. The Red Raiders. Do they have any running plays? They have like
No.
They have to have one.
a couple.
Did they have one of the big guy dive play up the middle?
They don't have any
That's
big
it, so-
guys. They have
yeah.
like 37 wide outs, and their running backs all catch like 70 passes a year.
And
The
they
big
run
guy-
like 4.2 40s.
Oregon Ducks had the big guy play this year.
Yeah, they did. Castillo's 0 for 2. First time I was ever in Lubbock to do a football game, they had a punt returner who was an All-American by the name of Tyrone Thurman. He was 5'3".
Huh.
It's the late 80s. And his mom was at every game, and she brought a cowbell with her. And when her son went back to return a punt, that cowbell, I mean, you could have heard it in Midland, Texas. 3-0, 3-1.
How tall was the human joystick? Kansas City Chiefs. Trying to remember the name. Punt returner.
This ball's well hit to center field, but should be playable, and it is for Charlie Blackmon. 1-2-3, fifth inning. Second 1-2-3 inning of the night for Chad Bennett. Rockies up 6-2. Huntley will lead it off. Sports' newest show, The Club. This week, it's an in-depth look into spring training, and you'll get to know some of the newest faces of the 2016 Rockies. Plenty on Trevor Story. And we'll explain why new outfield addition Gerardo Parra feels right at home with his new club. All that and more this week on The Club, tomorrow at 6 p.m. in the Mountain Time Zone. Rockies playing a day game tomorrow, getaway day. Thursday will be an off day. Rockies will work out at Coors Field. And then Friday, the home opener against the Padres. Shelby Miller still out there. Rocked for 6 runs in the 4th inning. Nick Hundley took him deep, 3-run shot. Chad Bettis with a 4-run lead. After a meeting at the mound with the pitching coach, the very next pitch was assaulted.
Well, they had that meeting at the mound, remember, because they were stalling, trying to see if Parra had beaten that throw to first base.
I love when Nick comes back after hitting a home run. I mean, I don't know if you want to give him a high five. You may lose your arm. I mean, he is fired up when he crosses home plate.
That's a little bit of football coming back.
Well, you know, he's son of a longtime football coach. Nick was quite a player himself in high school. And he gets a slider for a strike.
First pitch slider to start off the inning. Some respect right there, especially after he hit his fastball and turn it around.
Got another slider, and this ball is in the air to Brito in center. 1 out. That'll bring up Ben Paulson. A fly ball double to left in the 4th inning, and he would score on the DJ LeMahieu home run. Ben got his first taste of the big leagues in 2014. Last year he made 66 starts at first base, 13 in left field. Hit 277, hit 11 home runs, drove in 49. And he quietly had a really nice spring.
Different camp for him to come in. You know, last year you had Justin Morneau in camp, so he knows that, well, probably not going to happen at first base, and then Justin becomes injured. He goes out there and takes over. Justin comes back and moves out to left field. So a little bit different feel for him when he came to camp.
Well, Morneau still is unsigned. He had elbow surgery this offseason on his right elbow, so looking to be healed up by July. And another interesting free agent when you're looking at it this offseason, because here's a guy that won a batting title 2 years ago.
This ball sliced to left center field, and Tomas, and I think everybody holds their breath when he's chasing fly balls. I'm not trying to beat him up, but
no,
it just doesn't look comfortable.
At some point in Japan, when I was in Japan, there was a closer that we had, and he made the coaches nervous, and he got the job done, but eventually lost the closing job because it just didn't feel right to the manager. I'm saying Chip Hale's feeling the same thing every time a ball's getting hit out to left field.
Single and a 2-run home run for LeMahieu. The single to right, the 2-run home run to deep left center. 6 home runs last year for DJ. Every once in a while he'll turn on a pitch.
And that ball that he hit out, he stepped in the bucket maybe 2 or 3 inches. I mean, not striding back towards the pitcher. Watch his left foot. Just kind of opens up just a tad.
Well, that's when you cheat. You know you're cheating on a certain pitch. I'm guessing fastball in. I'm looking for it.
I don't mean step in the bucket like we remember from Little League.
No, but
you know, Johnny, don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. But you pick your moments to, hey, I'm going to put a charge into this one right here. I'm guessing fastball in location. I'm guessing in.
So you just open everything.
Open it up.
2 outs, nobody on. 2-1 on LeMahieu. Rockies up 6-2. They've out-hit Arizona 8-5. One of the hardest pitches we've seen from Miller tonight at 94. That's what he averaged with the fastball last year. And he painted the outside corner. Strike 3 on LeMahieu. 1-2-3, 6th inning for Miller. Rockies up by 4. 2 days of long balls for the Rockies. They've hit 7 of them. Everybody involved. Trevor Story 3 times now. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilborghs. Chad Bettis hangs a breaking ball, and Jake Lamb pulls it to the right field corner. And Lamb's going to have a leadoff double.
'84th pitch thrown by Chad Bettis tonight. Oh, just kind of a spinner, trying to get me that first pitch, get me over curveball. Well, Jake Lamb didn't wait around for it. 8 or 9 times out of 10, when a guy goes to the plate, he's not looking for a first pitch curveball.
First leadoff man to reach tonight for Arizona. Yasmani Tomas. For the moment, Shelby Miller on deck. South of the knees, ball 1.
Well, last year for Tomas, as you see, it's like Phil Gosselin on deck. But Tomas, prior to the All-Star break, hit .313, 5 home runs, 35 RBIs after just 208.
Nobody's going to have a play on this one. It's about 8-9 rows deep. Christian Bergman. Two and 1. Chad will be 27 later this month, April the 26th. Second round pick of the Rockies in 2010.
76th overall.
Misses there. It's 3 and 1.
We talked about DJ last half inning cheating on a fastball. Well, this is a chance for Tomas to cheat on a fastball.
Now walk to Tomas. Now 2 on and nobody out. Phil Gosselin will pinch hit. Second walk allowed. Steve Foster now to come out. Gosselin pinch hit last night and struck out against Justin Miller. Pretty good battle. Before Miller beat him with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball on the outer edge. 30 seconds to get your conversation in.
We saw that drift
is a suggested number.
Yeah, we saw it drift into 35, 40 seconds last night.
So Miller in his debut with Arizona lasted 2 innings more than Zach Greinke, but he gives up 6 runs on 8 hits, 3 home runs. He walked 1, struck out 2.
I'd like to see Chad try to induce a ground ball right here, anywhere in the infield.
Down the right field line and into the Rockies bullpen foul. 0-2. He's not induced many ground balls tonight.
No, he hasn't.
He has 4 strikeouts. He's got 4 outs on the ground. Nick Ahmed in the 9th spot in the lineup is on deck. Curveball, and this is popped up. This is playable.
There's room. I like that. You can hear it from the dugout too. You've got room. A lot of foul territory here at Chase Field. With the new ballparks where everything's so close, sometimes you don't get that feeling and you start to, I'm too far. I'm getting close to the wall.
It's kind of like Coors Field. It's one of the biggest ballparks in the National League. It was completed in time for the Diamondbacks' first game as a franchise in 1998. Coors Field, as you all know, was built in 1995, and both of these stadiums hold in excess of 48,000. Last opening day at Coors Field, more than 49,000. The only place bigger in the National League is Dodger Stadium, and of course Dodger Stadium was built in the early 60s. 1 out. Ahmed takes a strike. You know Chad Bettis would love to get through this inning and then hand it to the bullpen. Obviously Walt Weiss, Steve Foster would love to see him be able to navigate this 6th frame.
Well, and his spot is first leading off next inning, so you're looking at him to try to get through it so you don't have to potentially double switch.
Ball and a strike. Lamb at second. He doubled leading off the inning. Tomas walked. He's at first base. 6-2 Colorado. All 6 runs in the 4th inning against Shelby Miller.
And if it is hit on the ground, you got to get rid of it. Nick can run.
One and 2 on Ahmed. Cutter outside. 2-2.
This is the way the bat played out last time Ahmed was at the plate. A couple quick strikes on him. And he eyeballed a few, ended up walking.
And he misses there.
Well, the curveball to me hasn't been as effective of a pitch for him, and part of it, you're looking at last year's average velocity with his curveball, about 74 miles an hour. Tonight we've seen 67, 71 mile an hour curveballs. To me, it's maybe you got a little more velocity, get a little more bite on it.
Challenges, and he gives up a base hit to right. Around third comes Lamb. The throw is going to be not in time. And it's 6-3 on the base hit by Ahmed. And now you're dealing with Gene Segura in the top of the order.
Well, once you get back to a 3-2 count, you feel better about your at-bat. You have more confidence. And it helps when the ball is belt high. Nick takes it to right field, scoring Lamb, who had doubled leading off this inning with a double down the right field line. Couple hopper just was up the line.
Well, the Rockies are going to double switch again, as they did last night. DJ LeMahieu, who's made only 2 outs in 2 ball games, is going to come off the field. Christian Adames will take over at second. 1 out in the 6th inning, a run in. 2 aboard for Gene Segura, who already has a home run tonight. Christian Bergman. What a pitching performance. We look at the numbers for Chad Bettis. 5 1/3. He's responsible for the traffic out there. 3 runs right now, 7 hits. We saw some good from Bettis, but I'm sure it's disappointing for him not to be able to finish the 6th inning. Last night, unfortunately for Jorge De La Rosa, staked to a 6-run lead. He couldn't finish the 5th inning. So the Rockies +3 on the scoreboard, handing it off to a guy that typically is a long haul guy, Christian Bergman. Against Gene Segura. And that pitch inside, ball 1.
30 games last season for Christian, 3-1, 4.74 ERA. During the spring, he was 2-1 with a 2.84, just a 2.14 batting average against. You say, wait a second, wasn't he named the 5th starter with John Gray being out? Well, yeah, he is, but you don't need one with the off days until that Chicago series around the 15th of April.
2-0 on Segura. Said it many times about Christian Bergman. The thing you have to admire the most is his guts. I mean, he'll throw any pitch in any count. He's not afraid, and of course, by major league standards, his stuff is, you know, a scout would say, very average. Right field line, Cargo won't have a play.
Sometimes they can't measure the slow heartbeat, the competitiveness.
But Drew, your point right there, 2-0 pitch, being able to throw an off-speed pitch gets you kind of back in the count, because now the fastball throws Segura off just enough that he's fouling the ball off into the outfield, onto the bleachers.
Two-two. Bergman with that delivery, the leg kick's got some deception, doesn't it?
And that's what's so important. It's why 95 doesn't play for him. You can pitch at 89, 90, 92. Has a great movement, but it's that little short arm swing that he has. Doesn't have a lot of length in his delivery.
Right center field, Blackman trying to get there, can't. It's going to score 2. Cargo's got to get the baseball. Segura's going to end up at 3rd easily, and it's a 1-run ball game.
Gene Segura tonight, 3 RBIs. the home run to drive in one, and now the triple to right center field. Segura, the last 3 years, has had 20+ stolen bases, so he knows how to motor around the bags.
And now it's a one-run game. You got to bring the infield in with one out. Brito at the plate. Well, all 5 runs charged to Bettis. Disappointing part of these first 2 ball games. The offense has been sensational. The defense has been sound. The starting pitching, unfortunately, has not been. It staked to a big lead. Chad Bettis, Jorge De La Rosa would be the first to stand up and say, we got to make those stand up.
Well, Jorge 4 2/3, Chad 5 1/3. Walt gave Chad every opportunity to get through this inning. 98 pitches, just 56 for strikes.
Good pitch. That's a huge strikeout. Cutter on the inner half. Brito's gone. 2 outs. The infield can back up. Now you got to deal with Goldschmidt.
It's a disappearing slider. You think it's going to be one spot, disappears under your hands.
Goldschmidt, a home run, a walk, and a strikeout.
That's a situation where you're going to try to expand the zone on a guy like Goldschmidt, see if you can get him to chase.
Jammed him.
But you're dealing with a hitter that doesn't chase. And even in this count right here, Corey Sullivan talks about all the time. 0-2 pitch, I actually look for a pitch in a very specific zone, just because it forces me from trying to go out and try to make contact with every single pitch that's being tossed out there.
Oh, 0-2 on Goldschmidt. Breaking ball, and that was
lucky.
Way too good a pitch. Missed right in the heart of the plate.
Well, and that's why you can narrow your zone, because in those 2 strike counts, you know that they're not trying to throw a strike down the middle.
Tough. That last pitch was a tough one to foul off. Walt did that. A little old school here. He choking up on the bat. Might only be a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch, but more bat control.
0-2, and again a fastball wanders over the inner portion of the plate.
Everything inside on the Subaru strike zone. Better cut at that pitch. Dangerous thing when you're talking about a hitter of Paul Goldschmidt's talent. Can't go to the same spot too many times in a row, because he'll eventually hit one of those. Last 2, if we can throw that Subaru strike zone up again, you can tell. I mean, they're in a little bit, but also up. Pitch 5 and 6. The difference between those 2 might only be the width of a baseball.
Sure.
What separates these guys from the more mediocre big league hitters, their hot zones. There's so many pitches they can cover. To your point, here's the 0-2. Got him. What a job by Bergman to keep the Rockies in front as he strikes out Paul Goldschmidt, one of the game's grandest players. 6-5 Colorado as we go to the 7th. Very much. Things have tightened up quite a bit here at Chase Field. The Rockies were up 6-2. It's now 6-5. And the former National, former New York Met, Tyler Clippard will take over. 69 games last year. Some real good work with the Mets until late in the season.
He came over to the Diamondbacks after signing as a free agent back on February 8th. Two-time All-Star. You think with the right-hander that the left-handers should give him problems, but in his career he's only allowed a 185 batting average against to left-handers.
Yeah, he was with Oakland the first part of the year and through September 4th fashioned a 2.01 ERA, and then the final 12 appearances with the Mets it was a 7.11 ERA. Christian Adames in the double switch with his first at bat, and he takes ball one. Adames, then Blackman and Story. Just similar to yesterday, Billy, the Rockies have to hopefully do what they did last night and just keep adding on.
Well, and Tyler Clippard had been one of the premier setup guys in baseball. So you're looking to try to bounce on a guy right now that is his first appearance in a new uniform. Last year with that changeup, I mean, we talk about fastball changeup type pitcher. Think Trevor Hoffman. Doesn't have a Trevor Hoffman changeup, but it is a very, very good, devastating pitch.
The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. So Adames retired by Med, and that'll bring up Blackman. Charlie, a ground ball to second. He hit into a 3-6-3 double play in the third, struck out swinging in the fourth. Nothing for three. Trevor Story on deck. Talking this afternoon to Dave Magadan and Mark Grace. They are big fans of Charlie Blackman. And they were
Similar
making
hitters.
Well, they were making the comparison to, as you were yesterday, A.J. Pollock. You know, guys who run well, guys who are real studious about the game, guys who have some pop, guys who never give away an at bat. By the way, A.J. Pollock underwent elbow surgery today. He had a plate put on the bone in his elbow, and that's a soft liner that's caught by Ahmed, 2 outs. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game provided these 2 days by Trevor Story, the rookie shortstop. Last night, home run to right field with 2 aboard against Zach Greinke. His next time up, home run of the solo variety to left, and then tonight against Shelby Miller. I mean, these aren't journeyman guys he's going deep against. He took him out on a slider.
They're all-star type pitchers. Guys like last year won 19 ball games at Zach Greinke. I know the record wasn't great for Shelby Miller, but he was also an all-star one year, or last year, with Atlanta.
There's that changeup right there. First pitch to him. And when you're Trevor Story and you're first time seeing a guy, you hear about a changeup. Nolan's probably told him, hey, the changeup's good. Don't give up on it. But to see it.
So you've been in that box.
Exactly.
0-2 on Story. Ordinarily, the Rockies on the plus side in the 7th inning would throw a guy like Boone Logan, but keep in mind, Boone Logan got 5 outs last night. Boone Logan has had elbow issues the last couple of years, so he's probably not available tonight. That's why Walt Weiss, Steve Foster want to get another inning out of Christian Bergman before you go probably Chad Qualls, and then in the 9th with the lead, you're going to go Jake McGee.
And the other guy that went an inning in the 3rd last night, Justin Miller. also might be another guy that would have that inning and a third from this in the sixth
Right, be a
to seventh.
seventh inning guy, sure. One of your setup guys. Two strikes on Trevor.
For the changeup down.
It was down, too far down, 2-2.
Take a peek in the signs, see what they're thinking. Fastball.
And he was on it.
Only missed his location by a foot.
But that's where the respect of that changeup is. You can't stay on the fastball. Because you have so much respect for that changeup, trying to sit back and let it get deep, that the fastball, even though it's 92, and 92 is still fast, but just enough to get off your barrel.
Change up.
He was on it. Towering pop-up, though, in the infield, and Segura has it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Clippard in his Diamondbacks debut. Stretch time in Arizona, the Rockies lead 6-5. Look back, big fourth inning for the Rockies against Shelby Miller. And look who got it started, Trevor Story. And then a little later in the inning with two aboard, Nick Hundley, his first big fly of the year. And the Rockies weren't done. DJ with a man on, a two-run home run. Back live, Christian Bergman with strike one on David Peralta. So in the seventh inning, with the Rockies clinging to a one-run lead, you'll see two lefties against Bergman, Peralta, Castillo, and then Jake Lamb, the other lefty. And that's pulled to right, a base hit, long run for Cargo. It's going to be a leadoff double for Peralta. Tying run at second.
If you pitch Peralta away, he'll take it away. You pitch him in or down, he'll pull it.
But given the circumstances of two lefties coming up, a lot of times it's a confidence thing with a manager, because the Rockies have 4 lefties in their bullpen. McGee, who closes, so you're not going to go to him yet. Logan, who's down because of pitching to 5 hitters yesterday. You have Gurka, who had the tremendous spring, and you have Chris Russin, more like Bergman, a long haul guy, but they all throw from the left side.
And then you're trying to just get it to the left side of Jake McGee in the 9th, but you got to get there first.
Well, I'm looking out in the bullpen right now. There's nobody throwing. There's not a left-hander throwing yet. You can see guys starting to move, but not a lefty for the lefties coming up.
That's Miguel Castro, who threw last night. Shattered bat. This one's going to drop. Peralta will get a stop sign at third for Matt Williams. And now you got a big problem. First and third, nobody out. The go-ahead run is at first, and Jake Lamb is coming up.
This whole at bat, the intent from Wellington Castillo was to take the ball to right field to advance that runner at minimum. He broke his bat, sawed him off, fought it off, whatever you want to say, it blooped it in into no man's land in right field. Matt Williams, knowing who's out there, puts the brakes on Peralta.
And now Gurka is up.
Well, I'm looking at the D-backs bench. Primarily a right-handed hitting bench. The only left-hander is the backup catcher in Herman.
Lamb a double last inning. He's 1 for 3.
Arizona tonight 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. With all the runs the Rockies have scored, just 3 for 4, but those have been home runs.
In a perfect scenario, you get a strikeout and a ground ball after this with Tomas coming up. But Bergman, that's not typically his game. He's a contact type pitcher. He did have 2 strikeouts to end the 6th. He got Brito and he got Goldschmidt.
Well, in this spring training, he struck out quite a few batters, and we saw it in live BP early in spring training that it was very difficult for the Rockies hitters that when they first started seeing him to make solid contact. He was missing a lot of bats.
He'll try to miss a bat here.
It's his ability to pitch to all 4 quadrants, going east and west on the strike zone on the plate, and then being able to go north and south. His ability to go north, elevate, just like he did against Paul Goldschmidt, is what allows him to strike people out.
Two and 2. 3 and 2.
Matt Williams giving the sign to Castillo. You're not running.
Not running.
You're sitting. Stay there.
And now the bases are loaded. He was ahead 0-2. Yasmani Tomas, a ground ball to second, a double and a walk.
Come enjoy Opening Day Fest outside Coors Field on Opening Day, April 8th from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. There will be interactive games and festivities for all ages. Get your tickets for opening weekend today at Rockies.com. good speed at third base with David Peralta. Not much at second base with Castillo. Maybe just a little bit below average at first with Lamb. Tomas. Well, hopefully this carries over from last year, because last year with the bases loaded, just a mere 1 for 14.
Last night, the big bases loaded hit. This ball's driven to deep right field. Cargo reaches up and he makes the grab. Tagging and scoring the tying run is Peralta. 6-6.
Two things on that play for me right there. Great job by Carlos Gonzalez to go back on the baseball, being able to catch and corral that ball. I thought off the bat it was going to go over his head. Part number two, Wellington Castillo at second base. Bad job of base running. Nobody out. You're supposed to tag up. Fly ball, deep hit over there. You're supposed to be standing on third base. That's a fortunate error for the Rockies right there.
Inexcusable.
It is inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
Especially in a tight game.
Ricky Weeks struck out pinch hitting last night. A lot of holes there, but Ricky Weeks has extraordinary power also. Misses 1-1. Yanked foul.
This was one of the premier second basemen in baseball. He's not far removed from being in a home run derby.
150 in his 13-year Major League career. Daniel Hudson, former starter, now turned reliever.
1-2, hard on the ground. Stopped by Paulson. No play, though, for Adames. A base hit for Weeks, and the base is loaded again.
Just off the glove. You see how up the middle Adames was on the shift. And Christian late getting over. It's a mental mistake. You don't know if there would have been a play at first base, but when he doesn't break you, there's no option.
And now Walt's going to go take the baseball away, and the Rockies will go to their bullpen. 6-6, bases loaded. Jason Gurka jogs in. Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Rockies had a 4-run lead. They've been unable to hold it. Now they're trying to keep it a tie. Bases loaded, one man out. Nick Ahmed coming up, who's 1 for 2 in a walk. He had an RBI hit last inning. And Jason Gurka will make his 2016 debut, coming off a tremendous spring. He shortened his stride. The numbers from last year not good at all. But he felt like he was too lengthened out, which flattened out his delivery. He made the adjustment, and the numbers were tremendous in spring training. 20 strikeouts, no walks.
And that's why he made the club, because of those numbers. The confidence now with the shorter stride allows you to get on top of the baseball better, makes your breaking pitch more. It's not as loopy as it was last year.
One out. And Ahmed fires at it, fouls it back, 1-1. Tough man to double, Nick Ahmed. Even though he's out of the right side of the box, he runs well. Gene Segura's on deck, who's been the hitting star in this game for Arizona. A home run and a 2-run triple, matching a career high with 3 RBIs. Good block by Hundley.
Real good block. Called for it, but when you spike it like Jason did, and you have to worry about the foot, the dirt, where's it going? Once it kicks off that dirt, it'll have a opposite rotation and spin on the baseball.
Well, looking at the outfielders in a situation like this, Wellington Castillo is standing at third base, not a fast runner. The arms for the Rockies very strong. They will try to throw him out depending where they're at.
All right, it's a base hit through the left side. Castillo scores. Lamb gets a stop sign. It's 7-6 Arizona.
Well, you're coming into the game, you're thinking, would Gene Segura have 3 RBIs? Would Nick Ahmed have a couple RBIs? They have 5 out of the 7 RBIs for the D-backs tonight, hitting 9 and 1. But Nick Ahmed shoots a ball between short and third, and now you have Segura.
Big swing by Segura. Got him to chase 0-2.
And there's nobody in the Rockies bullpen warming up. Gurka's on his own to get out of this inning.
And that's fouled off. Got him, strike 3. And Segura turned around at Brian O'Nora, not pleased, 2 outs.
Well, he doesn't think it's a strike, but it started in the other batter's box, worked its way. Nick didn't move, caught it. Subaru strike zone, 4th pitch. You can get mad all you want.
Mad at yourself.
Well, that's what you are. They'll go to their bench and bring up the right-hander, Chris Owings, for Socrates Brito.
And a breaking ball misses to Owings. Ball one. Owings last night 1 for 5. He had an infield hit and scored a run in the 5th inning playing center field. Good numbers with the bases loaded in his career. He started at 3 different positions the last 3 opening days. Shortstop, second base last year, and center field yesterday. 1-1.
I'm going to be curious using Chris Owings right here if they're going to find a way to get Yasmani Tomas out of the outfield now that they have the lead.
He went. Well,
you really can't.
You can't now because
unless you put Ricky. Well, unless you use Ricky Weeks in left field.
I don't know how much of an improvement that is. Ricky's a second baseman, and Ricky's even bigger than he was when he played second base.
I'm just looking at the way the defensive alignments are for these guys and using your bench. And Clint Hurdle is notorious for throwing the defensive line late in the game.
Now, the one thing they can do, they have a versatile guy in Gosling. Who's in the game right now because he pinch hit. No, excuse me, he was used earlier. Let me correct that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was Weeks. Yeah, Gosling's no longer available. You have Drury left on their bench. This ball hit to Story. A run will score, and they may have a chance at third. And diving back in safely is Weeks. 8-6 on the base hit by Chris Owings.
That's the best Trevor could do. I mean, just knock this down. Hard hit ball, one hopper off the edge of his glove. Weeks thinks it gets by. Matt Williams trying to hold him up. But Trevor lays out. But had the smarts to then go to third base and might have used the swim move where he goes in with the left hand. You think the right hand's going to be there, but he pulled it back. They will challenge. Really, they have nothing to lose at this point. Try to get out of the inning.
Hard for me to tell from this.
He went to the swim technique.
Fingers are in. Oh, but did the finger come off? That's maybe what they're looking at. His hand got there, but then there was some space between his hand and the bag, okay? And now he's on, but the tag is applied. But did the hand come back off the bag? And this is the one that might show it. Hand on.
So
tag applied. That's what I'm talking about. Was his fingertip still on the bag?
Yeah, now why would Weeks take his finger off the bag?
No idea. But that's so close, it's going to be hard to.
The only thing I can think of is sometimes when your finger is going over the bag, it'll bend, and it might have been his natural reaction to kind of
pull it back.
Nolan looking at it and saying, I can't tell.
That might be the determining factor, is can they tell enough? The call is upheld.
And now the bases are loaded for Goldschmidt. This is a stay in contact in this game moment right now. Goldschmidt, a home run back in the first, a walk, and then a couple of strikeouts. 3 runs in the inning. And a curveball for a strike. Eight runs, 13 hits now for Arizona. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Rockies. 6 of those 8 hits came in that 6-run 4th inning against Miller.
You can see on the Subaru strike zone cam, had it as a strike, but because Gurka missed location so bad, Nick had to reach back to get that pitch, and you're not going to get a strike called in the big leagues on a pitch like that.
Inside, 2-1. And Goldschmidt knows that zone so well, so patient. And Gurka, a young pitcher with very little big league experience, there's nowhere to put him. Goldschmidt, as we were describing earlier, rarely expands. There's the 2-1, and it's top foul.
Slight shade to right center field in the outfield. Big gap in left center.
Two-two. Curveball. Wow. He held up 3-2.
Big strong wrist to hold up on that pitch. I mean, dude, big bat, you're starting to swing it, and then have the recognition not to go. And he did not go. 3-2, 2 outs. Weeks at third will be taken off, but he'll go out wide by the dugout. Anything in the gap, chance for runner to score from first.
And now Hundley calls timeout as Gurka was pretty close to getting ready to deliver the baseball.
They've already got Goldie tonight with fastballs up in the zone for 2 strikeouts. You kind of expect him to go up there, but like we mentioned, he doesn't chase.
Well, they did elevate with the fastball, and it's fouled straight back. Bottom of the 7th inning. Arizona's turned a 6-5 deficit into an 8-6 lead. At third base, Ricky Weeks. Nick Ahmed's at second. And Chris Owings, the pinch single, is at first base. And it's ripped to the gap in left center field. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. It'll clear the bases. Owings has scored. Goldschmidt will have a triple. 11-6 Arizona. Weird. 4 RBI night for Paul Goldschmidt.
On a home run and now a triple. We had a shot 2 pitches ago about the big gap in left center field, and then with the 3-2 count, runners take off. He hits the curveball into that gap. And for Goldschmidt, this is what he's paid to do.
Oh, that's where his swing path is too. He's a very good low ball hitter.
This is a game that you were winning 6-2, feeling good. Now you're trailed by 5.
Now the largest lead the Rockies coughed up to lose last year was 4 runs. That was July 27th in Chicago against the Cubs. And they've coughed up a 4-run lead here. And now trailed by 5. Peralta single and a double tonight. 1-1.
And at the start of this inning, you were hoping for a shutdown inning because you had Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado, and Gerardo Parra coming up next inning.
Well, there's this guy that led off the inning, Peralta with the double to right.
But because of the heavy usage last night, even though it's just game 2 of the season, and the fact that Jason Mott, who is going to be one of your late inning guys, is unavailable. He's on the disabled list right now. You're having guys in roles that you didn't expect to have them in. It's caught by Gurkha to end the inning. A whole lot of damage done. A 6-run 7th inning for Arizona. 9 runs in the last 2 frames. They're up 11-6. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. Tomorrow, Tyler Chatwood, Patrick Corbin. Chatwood returning from Tommy John surgery. Corbin last year came back from Tommy John surgery. It's been almost 2 years since Tyler Chatwood has been on a big league mound. 14-11 in his career.
And that last big league mound was here at Chase Field when he had to walk off with the bad elbow. But now for the D-backs, Daniel Hudson. Last year was his first full season as a reliever. He was 4-3, 21 holds, 4 saves, and a 132 whip. His fastball will average 96 miles an hour, so he can rush it up there. Also throws a changeup and a slider.
Cargo Nolan and Gerardo Parra in the 8th inning. Rockies were behind 2-0. A pair of solo home runs. Goldschmidt in the first, Segura in the third. Then they erupted for 6 runs in the 4th inning against Shelby Miller. 3 home runs from the Rockies that inning. Trevor Story again, 3-run shot from Nick Hundley, 2-run shot DJ LeMahieu. Cargo's been on twice, 1 for 2 and a walk. Singled and scored in that 4th inning. Penn has given up 9 runs in 2 innings, and Bergman is tagged for 4 runs on 4 hits. Last couple runs charged to Gurka. Bettis goes 5 1/3, gives up 5 runs, 7 hits, a couple of walks, 4 strikeouts, and he hit a batter.
Quite that contrast from last night when it was 4 1/3 with no runs.
Yep, 4 1/3 scoreless. Just the 8th time, actually last year, and it happened only 8 times that the Rockies went 4 innings plus out of their bullpen, didn't allow a run, and walked 1 or less. That's what they did last night. But as you said, Huey, quite a contrast here tonight.
Well, as a hitter right here, you're trying not to give away any at bats. Diamondbacks grinded away to get back into this game. You have 6 outs to work with. Try to make some noise. Obviously, it's not ideal situation.
No, but you're right. 1 by 1, you got to throw out some good at bats. This is going to be caught by Peralta, 1 out.
Well, Live Rockies baseball is back in 2016 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live radio broadcast, stat, news, and more. MLB.com at bat 2016.
Nolan Arenado. Nolan tonight, ground ball to short, ground ball to third, and a fly ball to left field. Fastball at 97, down low.
Back in 2011, Daniel Hudson made 33 starts for the Diamondbacks. Pitched over 222 innings. Then he got hurt. He's never even been close to the amount of innings since.
But he's really taken a liking, I think, to this role, and it's a good one for him. He's nasty. And now he can just let it fly, trying to get 3 outs. And he's got a little different arm angle, too, to go along with the high velocity.
That way he can go out there, just put the pedal to the metal for 1 inning, not try to pace himself. The other thing too, with his delivery, he's kind of herky-jerky and max effort. You know, when somebody is that way, when they have to sit for 4 days, those are mechanics off.
Yes.
But when he can do that out there, he just stays in that rhythm.
Good hustle by Nolan, but he's out by a 1/4 step. Two gone. That'll bring up Parra in the 8th inning. Daniel Hudson came from the White Sox. He was originally a 5th-round pick, broke in with the White Sox, that Edwin Jackson deal.
Edwin's not with anybody this year, is he?
I think he signed a minor league deal with the Miami Marlins.
I want to say he's with the Marlins. We have to double check that. There's a power arm that has never won at the level. He's been well paid, but he's never won at the level that talent would suggest.
And looking back to the numbers when he was a starter back in 2011, I mentioned the 222 innings. Fastball 93.2 miles an hour now that he's a reliever. Last year, average fastball velocity jumped up 3 miles an hour to 96.1.
Well, you become a sprinter when you go to the bullpen, and he works a 1-2-3-8th inning. Diamondbacks have turned the tables on the Rockies tonight. They're up 11-6. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Arizona up 11-6 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Nick Hundley's been removed from the game. I think more having to do with the scoreboard, I'm assuming. And Tony Walters is making his major league debut behind the plate, catching Jason Gurka. One of the very pleasant stories of spring training, the ascension of Tony Walters, who was released, taken off the roster by the Cleveland Indians, and the Rockies grabbed him. Johnny Weil, who's special assistant to Jeff Bridich, been in scouting for a long time with the Rockies, really liked this kid in his versatility. Originally a middle infielder, moved behind the plate at the suggestion of Terry Francona, and he's become a really good receiver, and he runs really well. So he's a very interesting commodity. I mean, how many catchers can play short or second for you?
I can't think of any. And when I see the double switch, right, or Tony coming into the game tonight, makes me think he's going to get his first big league at bat next inning. It also makes me think tomorrow's a day game, so you want to give him that opportunity tonight to get it in.
That's a broken bat base hit for Castillo.
Well, the last 2 base hits for Castillo have been broken bats to right field. But welcome to the fraternity, Tony Walters.
Yes.
Well, you want to get to the ballpark early on Sunday, April 10th, because that guy right there, Nolan, yeah, the first 20,000 fans through the gates will receive a Nolan Arenado Diamond Leader bobblehead, courtesy of the Shane Company. And for Walters, it was just 2013 when he was converted. I've watched him take ground balls. He's got the hands of a major league middle infielder.
A strike on Jake Lamb. 1 for 3 and a walk. Double in the 6th inning in a run scored. He walked and scored last inning. Ken came to the plate for Arizona in the 7th. Trevor Story gets the lead runner on the tag. Yasmani Tomas coming up. This has been a lot of fun. Let's do it again real soon. Let's go Rocks. Thank you from the Troy Hawkins. Hawk, great job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you soon.
I look forward to seeing that bruise on Spilly's rib cage.
See you in May, Hawk. I better get in the cage and start working on my swipe. Yeah. You know, my golf swing's not good.
Maybe taking a golf swing into your baseball swing. That'd be pretty good.
Listen, it's 310 down that left field line at Doubleday Field. Just open the hips.
It's true.
0-1 on Yasmani Tomas. He hit a sac fly last inning. Not for a really good catch by Cargo. It would have been more than that. Rockies scored 10 runs on 15 hits yesterday. Arizona 11 runs tonight, 15 hits. Pop to second base, and Adames makes the catch.
Brandon Drury will pinch hit.
Pinch hitting for Daniel Hudson, number 27, Brandon Drury.
This guy has legitimate power.
He's a good hitter, too. Put up extraordinary numbers in Reno last year. He's climbed the ladder. He's been a good minor league hitter, and he's getting his opportunity. People think he's eventually going to be a starter.
Sure. Baseball America had him ranked this year as the 3rd best prospect in the Diamondbacks organization.
One-0 on Drury.
Drury was another guy. They didn't have him. They didn't expect him to make camp or make the opening day roster, and because of the AJ Pollock injury, he got an opportunity to make the opening day roster. And Chip Hale has been talking about we're going to have to do a good job about getting him at bats, because this is a guy that you want to see progress. This is a guy you would almost expect him in the minor leagues just to get those at bats, the everyday at bats. And the big league level right now, he's not going to be playing every single day.
It's always the dilemma with a young player. Do they gain more experience up here, even in a limited role, or is it more beneficial for them to go back? And I think it's an individual case.
Sure.
It's not everybody's the same.
1-2, strike 3, got him on the curveball. So we'll go to the 9th inning. Rockies trailing by 5 at Chase Field in Phoenix. Walter's going to get his first big league at bat. He came in last half inning, as we described, for Nick Hundley. Maybe a prelude, as Spilly was discussing, to being the starter tomorrow and with Tyler Chatwood on the hill. Jake Barrett we saw yesterday, and he's going to throw the 9th inning for Chip Hale. In yesterday's ball game, he threw 1 inning and gave up 1 hit. That was it. So Barrett on to face Walters, Ben Paulson. And we'll see another pinch hitter with the pitcher spot due up. The Rockies have not had a hit since DJ LeMahieu's 2-run home run in the 4th inning, where the Rockies spent the entire 4th inning high-fiving and jumping around the dugout when they exploded for 6 runs. They've had 1 base runner since then, a cargo walk with 1 out in the 5th. 11 straight have been set down by the combination of Miller late in his stint, and then Clippard and Hudson. Both Clippard and Hudson worked 1, 2, 3 innings. So Tony Walters, his first big league at bat, 8 over 400 this spring. And he takes a fastball for a strike at 95.
I asked him if he was nervous yesterday because he had to come out and warm up a pitcher, put on the catcher's gear and come out. And he said, you know what, I wasn't nervous then. I was nervous during batting practice.
And he takes another strike, 0-2. He becomes the 522nd player to appear in a game in Rockies history.
And nothing can prepare you for this moment.
Nope.
Back up the middle, but it's going to be cut off by Segura. 1 out. Ben Paulson, who's 1 for 3, a double and a run scored back in the 4th, will come up. Who wants tacos? Fans follow at @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Looks like Brandon Barnes will be the pinch hitter next. You know, when you read the game story tomorrow, unless something dramatically changes, you're going to read about the Pen not being able to hold the lead, but I'm sure Chad Bettis will point to himself also.
Sure, he had many opportunities to get himself back in the dugout. But you can also look at the offense as well. I mean, he scores 6 runs in the 4th inning, and you don't find a way to get back on the base. He kind of lost that edge with the grind of their bats. I mean, the walk from Carlos Gonzalez in the 5th inning is the only quality at bat that I have really in the last 5 innings.
Yeah, and again, you guys know you played for a long time, but 6 has got to be a winning number.
Should be.
You're right. I mean, when you go into a ball game saying, okay,
no matter how you split it up,
right,
it just happened to all 1 inning tonight.
Yeah, you should feel pretty good about your chances.
1-2. Rockies will face their first left-handed pitcher of the year tomorrow with Patrick Corbin going.
Patrick made 16 starts last year, was 6-5 with a 3.60 ERA. That was coming off Tommy John, as you said earlier, Drew.
Two and two. Didn't mention this earlier. John Gray threw a simulated game yesterday, 3 innings, 55 pitches, and was really excited about how the ball was coming out of his hand, and that was seconded by a number of people who witnessed it.
I talked to John today in the dugout, and he was real pleased, and it doesn't feel the stomach muscle, anything when he's going, and so he'll throw a light bullpen and then kind of figure out the next step.
Tyler Matzik on his left, Chad Bettis on John Gray's right. Three and two.
Well, here's a quality at bat right here by Ben Paulson late in the game.
this ball's driven well to left center field, way back, and it's going to take one hop and go into the seats. Second double of the ball game for Ben Paulson. That was a terrific at bat.
Probably. I mean, talking about a guy that had a chance to have 3 doubles. Tomas was the one that ran the ball down in the corner in his last at bat. And after that lengthy battle, he wins it. Pops up into the stands for the ground rule double.
Well, it won't be Brandon Barnes. It'll be Ryan Rayburn. So the Rockies have their first knock since the 4th inning 2-run home run by DJ LeMahieu.
And if you're wondering why they had Brandon Barnes on the on-deck circle, then they bring him back for Ryan Rayburn. A lot of times with the bench, the manager will look at certain guys as being, you know what, I'm going to use Brandon Barnes. If there's 2 outs, try to get a guy on. He's the guy that can go on, get on base for me. Ryan Rayburn looking for some pop, maybe a guy that can jack a home run.
The second thing is, too, he's going to get a start tomorrow. So
Exactly.
get him as a bat tonight, because that's why you have him, to go against the left-handed pitcher. We can't forget that also you had Gerardo Parro dive in the outfield.
Sure.
And you could see him come off that inning with his neck. A chance to get Ryan in the game tomorrow.
That's why the acquisition of Ryan Rayburn, I think, was huge for the club. Line drive to short. Because you have 3 starters all hit from the left side in that outfield. And I don't care how talented those 3 are, and we know how gifted they are, but when you're facing Kershaw and Bumgarner and a number of lefties with the Dodgers, and now Patrick Corbin, another 6 months removed from the Tommy John surgery, and this was a guy who was an all-star a couple of years ago. You got to, just percentage-wise, throw some more right-handed bats in there. 2 outs, Christian Adames. Ball is short for Christian. He takes strike 1. Second straight ball game. He's come in a double switch at second base. And on 2 hops to second, Segura flips to Goldschmidt, and the Diamondbacks have come from 4 runs down to defeat the Rockies 11-6. Goldschmidt, bases clearing triple, also a solo home run earlier. The big hitting star for Arizona. That frequently happens. Tyler Clippard gets the victory. He's 1-0. Christian Bergman takes the loss. He is 0-1. Once again, the final score 11-6 Arizona. So tomorrow afternoon will be the rubber game. Tyler Chatwood for the Rockies and Patrick Corbin for Arizona. Let's go to our Denver studios. Mark Stout and Corey Sullivan, guys.